here's a riddle for you. Who has 23 fruit trees and doesn't know how to prune them? It's Mike and I. Now the idea of having established fruit trees on your property is awesome, but there's so many. We don't really know what they grow because we came at the end of the growing season, and some of them are very old because part of the house was 110 years old, so I don't really know how productive these trees are. Now, here's what I've gathered. I've got to read it from my list or else there's no way I'm gonna remember it. Okay, in this front section here, I count 3 pear trees, 2 apple trees, 2 cherry trees, and 3 grapevines, which aren't trees, but they're there, so I counted them. The back side of the house, I counted 5 cherry trees, a plum tree, 6 apple trees, 2 miscellaneous trees, to be determined. So I looked up a little bit about how to take care of these neglected fruit trees. Apparently apple trees are really hardy, so I'm banking on that as they are going to be the first of my experiment here. We actually already trimmed a little bit of an apple tree in the front of our house just because you couldn't walk by it without getting slapped in the face with a branch. So these are the things I've learned. I learned that you want to get rid of the 3 Ds: dead, diseased, or decaying branches. Those are the 3 Ds. Yeah. And you want to make sure you get rid of any branches that are crossing each other because they're going to rub and wear away the bark. Something else important is to make sure you get a clean cut. So I've got a few different saw type. I've learned that it's recommended to make a cut underneath large branches and then continue the cut from above all the way through, so that way if your branch does snap off and pull because of the weight of it, it's not going to take the bark and strip the bark down the tree trunk with it, if that makes sense. Now, these are really overgrown and old trees. You want to make sure a lot of your growth is going up. And so some of the growth is growing up, but some is just crazy. And I've also heard it recommended to trim about 1/3 of new growth every year. So think about like what 1/3 of new growth would look like every year since seeds have been planted, and if that's been kept up with. I think maybe more so on some of these trees like the apple tree, but if you were to look at the pear trees, which are so dense, excuse my ladder, they definitely have not been kept up with at all. So I thought, oh, I should just take it all off. Let it start from new. But that would cause a ton of new growth in the spring, and we'd be stuck with a similar problem where there's a bunch of new little pieces that aren't very profitable in terms of the fruit that they're making. And so we're just gonna take a little bit off this winter. Yes, it's winter, it's January today, it's like 50 degrees. Next winter, we'll do it again. So today, some apple trees. I don't know if we're gonna get to all the apple trees. There's 8 of them. There's 8 apple trees. 8's a lot. How you like them apples? Oh. Don't ask me how much time has passed. I have absolutely no idea. Also, I have this too much gene, probably from my dad, who, when you put a saw in his hand, will just take every branch off of a tree. So the way that I limited the amount that I took off was, if I couldn't reach it on the stepladder, it stayed. Next winter, I'll go ahead and get these issues. Pretty sure that I miscounted this sad looking apple tree as a cherry, so this one's up next. You ready for your haircut? Ta-da! Now just more room to grow. And another thing is that a lot of these trees are covered in lichen, which isn't a problem, but it can start choking things out, start creating more shade, the plant can't get enough light, so it can kind of become a problem after a while. By decluttering those branches, it makes it much less likely for that lichen to grow. Again, I just did what I could reach. Next up is this little guy right in front of the house. He's already seen a little bit of trimming due to the fact that the branches were slapping us in the face when we walked by the front porch. So my too much gene might have gotten the best of me. It looks a little sad, but I'm gonna say it looks rustic. I just don't want it to slap us as we walk around. I think I was wrong. I'm gonna count again. 17, 18, 19, somewhere in the 20s. Today I just have to find the apple trees and prune them. It will be fine. I'm 3 trees deep. I'm like 1/3 of the way through. It is fun though. I'm enjoying this. I'm just gonna sleep really well. We're gonna get a 2-for-1 here. 2 sad, old, overgrown apple trees covered in lichen. Well, that took a good chunk of time. This sad looking guy had a whole 2 green apples on him when we came here. At least I think it was this one. I think this was the apple tree that had those, so. It's already pretty sad looking. I'm just gonna take off some dead stuff. Ta-da! Can you tell that I did things? I didn't do many things, but I did things. Man, if this guy doesn't survive, which he may not, might have to learn how to graft. This little tree makes those little Fiji apples, I think. I don't know. Or maybe they're pink lady apples. I don't even remember. But all I remember is I came out here to get some and the deer had eaten all of them. So let's fix her up. Pretty sure it's gonna start raining soon. So I will continue tomorrow, which should be sunny. If it's not, the next sunny day. Luckily for you, that day is right now. Do you ever have a really productive day and you get a lot done and you're like, wow, I feel so good about this, and you're just like riding that high, and then you wake up the next day and you have to do it again and it's like 20 degrees colder? That's the kind of day today is. Back at it. Also, I found another cherry tree today, so cherry tree pruning will be fun. Ta-da! These are the three beasts. 1, 2, and 3. Close to the edge of the property here, and they're beasts for a reason, let me tell ya. There might even be another fruit tree back there. Oh my goodness, this will never end. Anyways, these are clearly some of the oldest trees, so let's see what we can do about it. You thought the shot was gonna be the finished trees, didn't you? Well, joke's on both of us, because I'm a little too short to fully address see if she's on these trees, and I've only got my step ladder out here, remember, because I was using that to just attack the bottom parts of the trees this year, hoping that I could do the higher parts next year. But these have so much dead wood. They're massive. I'll show you on this one too, check it out. Got my lovely ladder, which is right there, but all of that is dead. Like, these are 100-some-year-old apple trees, and I swear the best apples grow up there. So I'm gonna have to tackle these when I get the big ladder out. Have you ever had a problem that was so big you just slapped a Band-Aid on it? Because I think that's what these people did for this sad looking tree. It has fence posts around it where they put fence up. It has fence posts that are wooden, supporting the actual leaning that's going on here. And it's just way overgrown. I wonder if I kept pruning it on that side because I didn't want it to get heavier there. And then where you prune encourages growth, so it kept growing. So let's fix this one and we'll call it a day. With the exception of a branch that's stuck in there, which is still better than getting my saw stuck in there twice, which I did do. It's done. There are some broken pieces leaning over to the side. They go up that way. They break down. I gotta cut those off, but I need a big ladder and a big saw, so. Comment down below which one of these fruit trees I should prune next. Goodness knows there's enough. I'm thinking maybe the cherries. I've got to see if there's anything cherry specific related to pruning. We shall see. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.